This Boston Celtics team just seems different this year, don't they? I mean, I know we won't get that question answered until the playoffs start, but right now they're a well-oiled machine with seemingly nothing daunting enough standing in their way. That's why I believe this year more than any other year, the NBA championship is the Boston Celtics to lose. And I want to give y'all 3 reasons as to why I think the Celtics will and should finish the job this time. Number 1, let's look at all the carnage going on in the Eastern Conference right now. Let's start with the Bucks. They're starting to find a better groove now under Doc Rivers as head coach, but their defense hasn't looked great all year long. It's looked a little bit better in these past couple games, but how much better have they really gotten defensively? It was always more of a personnel issue than it was a coaching issue with them, which is why myself and many others were very shocked to see Adrian Griffin go. The Bucks just aren't what they used to be defensively, and much of that is because of Jrue Holiday's no longer there, but also because Chris Middleton isn't the same guy as well, on either side of the ball for that matter. And their head coach is obviously Doc Rivers, so you know there's going to be some type of collapse. So their downfall in the playoffs seems inevitable more than anything. The Cavs are interesting to me. They've improved their shooting, which was a big downfall of the Cavs last season. Donovan Mitchell's been great along with Mobley and Allen. The big question mark for me is Darius Garland and his inconsistency. That really scares me a lot, and the fact that I don't think Mitchell and Garland as a backcourt really match up well with the Celtics and their defensive prowess. The Knicks are a cool story. They're actually a really, really good team, but similar to the Cavs, they don't have enough offense, in my opinion, with or without Julius Randle and OG Anunoby. And of course, the Sixers, I would label them as the number 1 threat to the Celtics, just because if Embiid was healthy, I think they are the biggest threat to the Celtics, and they have a really good chance of beating them, I think. But with Embiid being out, there's no reason to really talk about Philly. They're not going to do much in the playoffs if Joel Embiid is not there. Number 2, as to why I think this is the Celtics' year. They have Kristaps Porzingis and Jrue Holiday. The versatility of the Celtics this year is my biggest reason as to why I think it's a little bit different. In years past, we've seen them get bogged down. We've seen them get predictable, especially offensively in the half court when games grind down, right? Earlier in Brown and Tatum's career, it was more so, okay, they're iso ball, they're selling for jumpers, they're not really moving the rock. Over the last 2 years or so, it's kind of transitioned into, okay, they're living and dying by the 3. They're relying on the 3 a little bit too much. Now, they're the best 3-point shooting team in the league according to some metrics, but come playoff time, you just can't rely on the 3s. Some days they're not going to fall, and you have to resort to another plan. And the Celtics didn't have a plan B a lot of the times over the last 2 years. Now they have a plan B. So this year, Kristaps Porzingis has been absolutely invaluable for the Celtics, and honestly has been their second best player in many instances. He's a guy that unlocks everything for the offense, especially dimensions they haven't even reached before. In the screen and roll game, he can pop for Tatum and Brown, and that frees them up a little bit more. If defenses still want to commit to those guys as the ball handler, okay, leave Kristaps open for 3. But if you want to rotate, they can swing the ball to Derek White in the corner or Jrue Holiday in the other corner. So the defense is forced to stay honest to both parties, and that allows Tatum and Brown to get off more. That allows Tatum and Brown to exploit their mismatches on the perimeter. But along with that, the Celtics have tripled their post-ups compared to previous years. Yeah, Brown and Tatum are posting up a little bit more, but also Kristaps Porzingis is as well. They've made it a point of duty to attack mismatches as much as possible, and that's led Porzingis to have the most efficient post-up season in the last 10 years. Why? Because he's attacking mismatches at every chance he gets. Joe Mazzulla has made an important emphasis to allow Kristaps Porzingis to work in the post whenever there's a mismatch. That's why he's been so efficient. And not only is he so efficient in that, that is something they can rely on heavily if Tatum and Brown can get going, or they want to switch it up, or they find a particular matchup they like against a specific team they can go to. And Jrue Holiday helps them out a lot, being he can be a screener as well. He can be a ball handler as well. He's more so a table setter more than anything, but he can do those things to alleviate pressure off Tatum and Brown as well. He's going to play a similar role like he did in Milwaukee, helping them win a championship. Their clutch time offense got a lot better under Jrue Holiday, right? So Jrue Holiday has brought that to the Celtics as well. And then on the defensive side, he can guard all 5 positions, holding up against some centers. You can put him on a weak defender and have him roam. You can have him on the best offensive perimeter player. So Holiday and Porzingis unlock the defense for the Celtics as well. Porzingis will be used a lot in the playoffs as the help guy. He'll be on a weaker defender so he can roam and wreak havoc. And that type of play can wreck offenses up in the playoffs. So Porzingis and Jrue Holiday specifically, those pickups were massive. Who let the Celtics get their hands on them? Because those guys are absolutely game changers. They're probably, as a pair, the 2 most important. I don't even want to call them role players because they're better than role players, but they're as important of a 3rd and 4th option as there is on any NBA team right now. The third thing that has me confident in Boston is that the core has experience now, right? Tatum, Brown, those guys have been so close, knocking on the door for so long. They were up 2-1 in the finals before everything unraveled. They lost to an undermatched Heat team in the Eastern Conference Finals just last year. Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown have been through countless amounts of heartbreaking moments in the playoffs as they've been knocking at the door for so long since coming into the league. It's not like they're first-round exits every single year or losing the conference semis every single year. No, they're right there in the conference finals literally every single year. And the excuse at first was, well, they're too young. Then it became, well, Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown settled for too many mid-range jumpers. And then it kind of shifted to, oh, they don't have that third guy around them because Kemba Walker was dealing with a lot of injuries. Then it was like, okay, JT and JB are too stagnant in the clutch. They're too predictable. They lack variety. They turn the ball over too much in critical moments. And most recently, like I've mentioned, it's been live by the 3, die by the 3 mentality. And they died by the 3 last postseason. And I think over the years, each of those issues they've gotten better at. Tatum and Brown don't settle for jumpers as much anymore. And they do have a third guy, and even a fourth guy for that matter, that can step up for them. They don't live by the 3, die by the 3 anymore, or at least they shouldn't, because they can go to the post-up opportunities like I mentioned with Porzingis. Their late-game clutch play has gotten much better over the years. It feels like it's the perfect storm for the Celtics right now. They've learned so much. And with that being said, barring injury, I think the Boston Celtics will win the 2024 NBA Championship, the elusive title they've been looking for since 2008. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the Boston Celtics and how great of a well-oiled machine they are. Is this the final year? Like, what if they don't do it this year? What happens? You know what I mean? Do they blow it up? I mean, Jaylen Brown just got the contract. Tatum's going to get his next. I don't even think they can blow it up. You just have to have no choice but run it back. But at that point, it's just a disappointment. It's just a disappointment with how stacked you are, with how multiple you can be offensively and defensively. There's no excuse, man. But y'all let me know. But this is Jimmy for Just the Facts. I'm signing out. Peace.